Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with you talking about issues of national significance and utmost public importance. Once again, I'd like to address the issue of the invasion of Ukraine, the war that's going on. By this time, we all know what's going on. We all have been looking forward to some news, some development that goes towards the resolution of the matter, towards peace, towards humanitarian goodwill. But it is sad that I haven't seen any progress in the matter, any significant progress in the matter. We do see the war escalating. We do see refugees being welcomed by neighboring countries. We do see the price hike all around the world because of the war. But I have not seen yet any significant development towards peace. We have seen the movement of defense mechanism towards the people of Ukraine so that they can fight the war, but I have not seen any significant development towards the direction of peace. Guys, let's look at this way. To me, war anywhere in the world is a failure of diplomacy on all sides. A complete failure of diplomacy on all sides. Of course, there are different perspectives. The guy who takes the decision to move into another country, the military might of one country going into another country, a weaker country, of course, it's a no-brainer. It's wrong. It's absolutely wrong, morally wrong, in every way wrong. But at the same time, we have to see how can we diffuse such situations. Let's just stick to Ukraine in this matter. Yes, we, the world, everybody's trying to bring proportionate help, defense mechanism, weaponization for the Ukrainian people to defend themselves in this situation. But do we really sincerely, seriously think that they're able to defend themselves against the military might of the Russian military? It's suicide action. I believe in walking and stepping back and coming back to fight another day. I sincerely find it inhumane to put a ban on fathers and husbands and men under 60 to be forced to stay in Ukraine to fight the war. These are civilians. How are they going to fight the war? They're untrained people. We're going to weaponize them, yes. But ultimately, do we sincerely and seriously think that these civilians will be able to hold Russian might back with guns in hand? It's unrealistic to think that we can train them in days to fight tanks and battleships and the air might. It's unreal. And we all know what's the outcome is that going to be. The world leaders today are responsible for the development that take on the hourly basis. If I was the head of the delegation in charge of peace process, I would make sure that we come out with a resolution within 7 days. Why don't we look at what the purpose of the Russian military is? Why did they go there in the first place? Resources? I don't think so. Whatever there is can be negotiated reasonably before even a single loss of life takes place. I said it in my previous show, in my previous video, when I was addressing it to the public, generally, worldwide, that reach out to your leaders and bring out some kind of a peace mission that can bring an end to this invasion, end to this war. But every day, more and more loss of life. But we instead of looking back to what we have lost and what the bombardment is causing, we can stop this at this point. There's a lot that we can save. There's a lot that is at stake even now. Why can't we sit down and have a debate, televised debate with Russian leadership and the rest of the world to see what do they want and how can we put an end to it? What is it that is so significant for Russian military to go in and face the world? But let me tell you guys, it's wrong. I totally agree. It's totally wrong. But does it help to corner the Russian might to make drastic decisions? And who's going to get hurt with those drastic decisions? Who? Okay, so we put the entire Russian might, the entire Russian people, their economy in the corner, and make them take the worst decisions possible. Who's going to get hurt? The other side. I still believe, my fellow Americans and people around the world, please heat up those phone lines to your leaders. Pressure for peace talks, pressure for ceasefire, whatever it takes. Let's just talk about ceasefire for now. Ceasefire. Cease not one shell, not one bomb. Because the brave people of Ukraine are not going to be able to hold against the military might. It's just unreal. Weaponizing civilians and putting a ban on them that you guys, men under 60 cannot leave. They will not stay voluntarily. They have to stay and fight and give their lives. Okay, that's not humanitarian. We all love our country. Yes, we do. But there's got to be success of diplomatic missions. Right now, there's a huge failure of diplomatic process. Huge failure. Diplomacy has failed because we're talking about, okay, we're going to send this many arms and ammunition over there and help the Ukrainian people fight. Fight with what? They have no training. These are not soldiers. When the bombs start falling in from all sides, what are they going to do with those weapons? Guys, let's talk sense, okay? Why are we even talking about weaponization at this time? Why is it not possible to stop and bring us into the war just by a first step, that is ceasefire? Okay, what do you want? It's easy to talk. Nobody has put a ban on talking yet. But the number one condition should be ceasefire. All the European nations, the countries, the leaders, the world leaders should come together. China can play a pivotal role in this because Russia has approached China for help. And China can play a great leadership role right now. Look, we don't want to hurt anybody's pride, okay? This is not the right time to start talking about talking about war crimes and the result of the justice system and the International Court of Justice and whatever the outcome is going to be. That this is not the time. This is the time to be diplomatic, to be respectful, and to put both the sides together for a compromise. Compromise is a solution. Even now, there has been bombardment. There has been. What do we expect in a situation of war? The people are not going to throw flowers at each other. Okay, there's a loss of life both sides. I don't have the numbers how much loss of life is taking place on both sides, but what from TV and news and what's out there on social media, there is loss of life. But what I'm worried is that this might trigger a disproportionate impact of hellfire on Ukraine. We push Russia, in one corner, and what do they have to do? How many choices we are leaving them? None. Only one. Go forward. And what is at stake? All the European nations are at stake. And what do they have to do without spending a penny? Talk. Only ask for ceasefire, so that the neighboring countries are at peace, so that there is option available for the Russian military and the Russian leadership, that, okay, these are the options. Why did we go there in the first place? Oh, we went there because we were afraid of certain actions from the European Union, NATO, or whatnot, or whatever the reasons were, which are not clear so far, at least not to me and the people that I'm talking to. The American people that I speak to on a daily basis want to see an end, because Now the impact of the war in Ukraine is splashing on us. The fuel prices, prices of everyday items. I don't understand that the job of the government should have been, in the first place, prepared for situations like this. It's not the job of the people to start worrying at the end and start pressuring the government like, oh, now this has happened. Oh, are we going to get impacted with this? Wars happen, around the world. Are those wars going to come and impact our economy? Are they going to come and impact a common American family? Yes, it is impacting us. And this is the job of the government, to be prepared for situations like this and have backups ready so that we don't get impacted with that. Right now, you go to the grocery stores, prices of gas and everything else. And what we hear is, oh, this is because of the war in Ukraine, all the prices have gone up and whatnot. First it was COVID, now it is Ukraine, something or the other. Why are we looking for excuses? Why are we listening to excuses? People, there should be no excuse. That's the job of the government, to look at those factors and incorporate relief. There should always be a backup resolve so that the people don't get the hit. We have hundreds of millions of dollars to spend abroad. Okay, that's good. Humanitarian aid is good. What about the humanitarian aid to the people, the American people? We need that too. We support the weak around the world because we are the protectors, defenders of democracy, defenders of peace. But we need to first initiate peace and then defend war, because it's easy to defend a war with another war, attack with a counterattack. But isn't it our function to save lives? It is our number one goal to save lives, whatever it takes with diplomacy. We cannot let diplomacy fail. Diplomacy is failing. It's a total failure. Look, guys, let's call it what it is. It's a total failure of diplomacy on all sides. The entire European Union was sitting idle watching for months and years, waiting for this to happen. Was it that? Were they waiting for this to happen? This is not good. The American people do not want another war. They don't want to counter a war with a war. We're educated people. This is an educated society. We are a modern world. We look at how to resolve. If in today's age of modernization, we cannot negotiate and resolve issues of war, then we are a total failure. Humanity is doomed. Why? Because we are such advanced nations. We're going to the moon and stars, and we cannot resolve an issue with diplomatic arrangements. It's a total failure, unless nobody cares because it's happening on somebody else's backyard. But that backyard is going to become hellfire for the neighboring countries around Europe. I hope not. I sincerely hope not. But I feel that it is leading towards the escalation of crisis that is already caused a lot of damage, a lot of life, a lot of loss of life. Even one death is a death to humanity in a situation like this, where we are unable to resolve. We sit back and let this matter escalate. It is sad that people under 60, fathers, their families who have left the country, people who are stuck there, and have to fight to defend their country, against such a might, such a huge, military that is equipped with very, very advanced weapons. And by giving proportionate weapon to the Ukrainians, civilians, we think that's going to help. Yeah, that's going to help start another war. Global leaders, including China, should play a pivotal role. Step in, find a solution, put in a compromise. It's not too late. My brothers and sisters all over the world, especially my American brothers and sisters, it's not too late. Our voices matter. We need to pick up the phone and start pressing our leaders here. Start calling local leaders, congressmen, senators, state senators, governor's office, president's office. Get involved. Get involved. Have discussions at home. Bring the voice out. Share your vision with the news media and say, we want peace. Of course, we have got to send whatever relief that is necessary to Ukrainians. Of course, we are with our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. I am the number one defender of peace, and I support Ukrainians wholeheartedly because they are the weak party here. They're at the mercy of the West, expecting that the entire democratic world is going to come to their rescue. That's not happening. Of course, the doors of the neighboring countries are open. Yes, but about 40 million people in Ukraine, and only 2 to 3 million having to leave the country, and the rest are in there. Bombs falling, people losing their limbs and lives. How's that going to improve situation? How is that going to improve anything? Failure of diplomacy. Failure of diplomacy. But there's time. We have to look back and say, okay, we failed, but there's time to stop this. There is still time, my friends. There's still time. We, the people, have to join hands and bring a voice there to our leaders. I call upon European leaders, for God's sake, make a council, a global council, a peace delegation. Send it to Russia. Sit down with them. Have a televised discussion so that everybody knows there's nothing in hiding. Right now, so many people that I talk to, nobody knows clearly what is this war about? How did it start, and why was not stopped? Why are we suddenly, taking all these measures? Why now? Why didn't we stop? But let's not go there. Let's start today. Let's start today. I'm running my congressional campaign, and this is the number one question I get from all the people from all communities around the district. I'm running for U.S. Congress in District 32, and every day I start campaigning one question. Why is the war in Ukraine impacting our lives? And the prices are going up. How are we going to face this? What kind of relief package is the government setting up for us, for our family? Because the American families work day and night to make a living. They're worried. But at the same time, they say, okay, why cannot we stop this war? What is so difficult for the world leaders to present to stop the war? What is it so difficult? Why is it so difficult? What is in the way? What is that obstacle that's in the way that cannot be met? What is the demand that the Russian military or Russian might or leadership is asking for that cannot be met? I haven't heard that. Yes, there are perspectives. Maybe there is fear on the other side that this is going to happen, that is going to happen. Maybe this is action in fear. But if it's there, that the people should know, what is that fear? Remove that fear. Remove the fear. Threat of war with another threat of war, attack with consequences of counter attack, and shelling with counter shelling, and sending them ammunition that we're going to take your tanks down and we're going to take your airplanes down. And is that real? Really? Look at the size of Ukraine. I'm not talking about the bravery of the people. I support that, but I also, more than that, support their lives. I value their bravery, but I value their life because they have children and grandchildren. They're waiting to get with their families. And what's going to happen? Who knows who's going to get shot and killed? But whatever is left can be saved. And how do we save that? By taking sensible action, for God's sake. With folded hands, I beg the European Union and leaders around the world, all those so-called leaders who call themselves humanitarian and leaders of peace, to get together, make a council, approach Russia, sit down with the Ukrainian leadership and say, why cannot we make this happen? What is it so big? and impossible that Russia is asking for that cannot be met, to sacrifice millions of lives? Really? Really? I believe the ban should be under 50 for men in Ukraine. So at least some of the men could go and join their family. At least those whose families are abroad, they should go and join them. Remaining women and children in Ukraine should be given a clear, clean, peaceful passage to move out today. A passage to all women and children should be given to the Ukrainian people. All Ukrainian women and children should be allowed to leave the country peacefully, without getting harmed, without getting bullied by the Russian forces. As far as I know, people are still allowed to, Russian checkpoints are there, but they are allowing women and children to go. So that gives hope. They're not shooting people down who are trying to cross their checkpoints. Women and children are still allowed to go, but we should let more of them go if this thing is going to escalate. If there's going to be no sacrifice, no compromise, and there's going to be no negotiation, then we know where this is going to end. If the world leaders, are not going to take any initiative in making peace talks, and the bombing is going to continue, then we know what's going to happen. So in this case, it's better to vacate as much as possible, because that's not going to help. If we're going to introduce freedom fighters in there and make that, a ground for hellfire, nothing is going to be left. So much of effort for all these people around the world to get together and go and take actions against war by counterattacks, guerrilla warfare. And what are we looking for? 10, 15 years of that? With only rubble everywhere? While we can talk and get this thing done with? At least bring it out in the open exactly what is the main obstacle, what is causing this conflict. Let's address the core issue of the conflict. No matter how rigid it is, no matter how mean or bad it is, we should know what is being demanded by the Russian authorities or military, or what is that made them go there in the first place. What is it? They cannot suddenly one day decide, that to go to Crimea and then, suddenly wait for another 4, 5 years, 6 years, and then go and say, no, we want Ukraine, and after that we want this country and that country and this and that. In today's day and age, no. But by cornering Russian military might, pride, no good is going to come out of it. We know it. We all know it. I see all these experts every day on our news media, our mainstream news media, coming out and saying, okay, this is what's going to be the outcome, and that is going to be the outcome, or Russian military is exhausted and this and that, and okay, and that we have cornered the Russian military and we have cornered the Russian leadership. Come on, man, I am on the side of democracy, but I'm also side of wisdom and sanity. I will not ask millions of people to take out the guns and lay their lives. No. Ceasefire. We want ceasefire. We want people to be able to move out in case there's going to be no negotiations. We don't want the bombs coming in and then people start to leave the country and get hurt. Let's apply common sense here. Let's apply values of decency. Let's apply values of peace. Let's use the democratic process that we have been all endowed with. Democracy screams and calls out for peace missions, peace process. And how does that peace process? Not by weeks and weeks of setting up teams and talking among each other. No, right now, immediately, it's a do or die situation. We don't need to have a process of months to formulate a peace mission. No. It's the power of the pen. We need to decide, we need to create, we need to formulate a team of peace missions, send them to Russia right away and say, we want to resolve this. We don't have to antagonize anyone. We don't have to discredit and start this process of another, warfare. No. Right now, saving one life is saving humanity. Let's be humanitarian. Let's be big about this. Let's go out and save lives right now when diplomacy can be revived. Right now, diplomacy is dying. It has failed. Let's revive diplomacy, okay? My talk to you is about revival of diplomacy. And what is the revival of diplomacy? Results. We save life, diplomacy wins. Democracy wins. You and I win. Millions of people in Ukraine who have no idea, facing total uncertainty, without food and water. God knows what situation will be in a few more days. We got to protect them. This is what we do, especially we, the American people. It's our job to do the right thing. And that's what we are doing. Every family that I met on the streets at home, every meet and greet that I'm having with the American people, everybody is worried about the lives of the Ukrainians, about our Ukrainian brothers and sisters. My dear fellow Americans, please pick up your phones, talk to your leaders, push for peace missions. My global friends, talk to your leaders around the world. Ask to form a peace mission right away. I'm talking to the news media, our amazing news media. Why are we not doing this? Why are we not pushing the global leaders for peace missions? Saying that, Russia's not going to listen. They're the most unreasonable people on the planet. Yes, okay, fine. Then still we need to talk. Who knows? Let's find out. Present it to the world. What is this war about? What do they want? How is it that we cannot meet halfway or everything, whatever we can do to bring this end to the war? My dear fellow Americans, I love you so much. I'm reaching out to you with my thought to peace, with whatever lives that are under threat. All those families, all those men and women who are, who are facing the threat of bombing days and nights, having sleeping, all those kids, all those children who are in shelters, don't know the outcome of tomorrow. They need help. They need help, not with a counter war, with an end to war. Thank you so much. I just wanted to share with you the latest development that is impacting our national significance and utmost public importance. I hope we can put an end to this war, and I call upon our government, our leaders, President Biden, Governor Newsom, put up a committee to stop this price hike. Yeah, it's just, we cannot use the excuse of COVID and then Ukraine and whatever other reasons incidents that are happening around the world to impact the lives of our hardworking families. Everybody's hurting. There's got to be a control in price hikes. So all those prices of grocery items, of our daily items impacting our daily lives, household items, gas prices. There's got to be some control on it. If we can't, then these prices should be subsidized by the government. That we know that the prices should be affordable. We should know, this is a democratic government. They're doing something. Wow. Oh, they subsidize the price. By sending $200 check, $300 check is not going to help. If the prices are getting out of control, it's the job of the government to have thought of it ahead of time and now subsidize the price. Tax relief, whatever possible, but not in piecemeals. A reasonable, reliable relief that people can live with. Okay, guys? Thank you so much for visiting my channel. Thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate it so much. I'm going to be coming back to you once again with the latest development on issues that are impacting our life so much. Okay, guys, thank you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you so much.